All right, so we're out of that trade. That's another profitable trade. Now, you guys might look at this. You might look at this cacophony here and say, this is a mess. No one trades like this. When I tell you I had the most profitable trading era in my career so far, trading like this, I'm not lying to you. Get my reps in. I'm going to show you guys my trend line strategy, how I set up charts, how I roll with them. We're going to go to a stock I've never traded before. We're just going to type in a name. Let's type in ABC. See if it has. Oh, there is an ABC. Okay, hold on. Let's hide the price action here. Let's hide all the indicators here. Okay. ABC has a thing next to it, which means I have seen it before. So let's go to something I haven't. Let's go to Apple. Let's go to Apple. Let's go back to a day I don't remember, even if I've seen it, and let's start a replay. All right. So what I do first is I go to the higher time frame because I want to see what it's been doing. And I want to see if I can take any trend lines and apply them to what I'm seeing. All right, now I can't really apply any trend lines here. I can apply that one. I want you to think about trend lines as you place them as areas on the chart where you can expect buying or selling to come in. So I like to color code them in that respect. So if they're going to be red, I expect selling to come in. I want to see a red trend line. I expect buying. I want to see a green trend line. Okay. This is clearly breaking this channel here. So I expect there to be sellers every time it approaches this line or gets near it. So let's go down to the hour now. Okay, there's nothing really happening on the hour. Let me put a trend line here maybe, but it's kind of not making it happen here. Okay, let's go down to the 5-minute here. And do we have any trend lines we can put on here? Not really. Looks like you might have something here, but it's sloping up and it's red. I don't like that. And then we have one, maybe one here that we can put on. And we can put a green one on here. Okay. So we expect buying to occur at this trend line. We expect selling at this trend line. We could look below here. Let's put a line here. And let's just look below here and see if there's any support or resistance areas here that we could potentially look at. And there's not a lot. It channeled up pretty good. So it's just really just taking out everyone. It's taking out orders here, right? All right. Let's play it out here. Down here on the 5-minute chart, we're going to advance this by 5 bars at a time. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I expected to see buying at this trend line. I did not get it. Okay. What has happened though is the slope of this has changed. All right. So now I expect selling at this trend line. And since this trend line has flipped here, since this upward sloping trend line has flipped to downward sloping, I would be interested in taking a trade off of this if it does not. Long position, short position. I want to short this, and I want to put There's probably a line here too. Yeah, let's short that and let's put this above here. Let's see if we can get 2 to 1 out of this. Okay. So we're going to try to short it there. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are approaching this line again. Okay, it looks like it has reversed the roll, but we can't be sure. This has also failed in its roll to keep prices down because we should have saw selling at this point right here. So this trade might fail. Okay, this trade might fail, but let's advance it some more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, really nothing here. If we can take this and adjust it to here, that might be a little bit better. We're still expecting selling to happen between here and here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we are getting some selling at this line, but it's able to push above it more than it's able to push below it. Okay, let's continue though. Nothing really to see here. We do have this trend line kind of setting up bullish. Okay, so I would be expecting 2 things to happen here. I want us to lose this one and I want us to gain this one. But let's look at this here. Let's look at this right here. This here. Okay. So we're continually adjusting these lines, which is usually a sign we're in the wrong direction. But we do have a rising wedge, which is usually going to lead to a breakdown. Okay. Price usually rises, breaks down, falls. Okay. So let's see if we can get that to play out here. Let's see. We're still in this trade though. We haven't been stopped out yet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now this has failed. This green line has failed. Okay, and we're actually able to connect another red line here. So let's extend this all the way down. Let's anticipate selling on this red line if the trend is to continue down. Okay, let's actually spread this out a little bit, make it a zone. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have now broken up through this zone. This trend line is useless, not doing its job at all. Now though, we're seeing that this one is coming back into effect here. You see that? This one's coming back into play here. This one has failed completely, so we expect it to now turn into resistance. Right, so we got nothing but red lines on the chart now. It's really nothing holding this price up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this line has reacted to price again. We still want to see selling on this line. Let's turn it into a zone as it approaches here. Include that wick, right? And let's see if we can get some rejection. We want selling at this line right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Still in the red, still below the trend line. Nothing to write home about here. We are seeing a little bit of support come in here on this line here, so expect buying to occur at this line, at least for right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've completely lost this trend line, and then we came up after we lost this trend line here, right? We broke down, then we came back up, and now we've rejected this right here, this area here. But this line is still green, even though it lost it before. I would actually vote to make this line yellow. I would vote to make this line yellow because it's suspect. Don't know what it's going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now we have successfully broken down below this. Okay, so it was support, 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 support. Now it's coming back down, so we can classify this line as a red line right now. Okay, still nothing but red lines on the chart. I don't see anything holding this price up at the moment. Let's continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we've made it back down to this line here. We can actually draw, it's not really a trend line, it's more like a channel. This is forming like a small channel here. There hasn't really been a push up into it though from the bulls, so we're not going to call this red, we're going to call it yellow. Right now it's holding price down, but it's so steep, the angle of it is so steep, it's like a 53-degree angle, that it probably, you know, if bulls stepped in a little bit, they could probably bump it above here. Okay, so we don't want to call it yet, we want to just see what it's doing, but we're still in this trade. Okay, let's check the overall pattern again on the hourly chart, see if anything else is developing. I don't really see anything coming into focus here. Yeah, there's nothing really coming into focus, so go back to the 5-minute and we're gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we have hit our profit target of 2 to 1 on this trade. Okay, so now we can actually classify this as a red line because it had support. See how they tried to get back over it, but there was more selling below the line, so we can classify this as a red line now. Alright, so that's one successful trade. We're gonna do one more. Okay, let's pick another stock, remove everything. Let's pick another stock. Let's turn off the price action and let's pick let's do I haven't looked at DoorDash in a while. Let's do Dash. Let's do Dash. Okay, let's go to the hourly chart, 4-hour chart. Oh man, we got IPO. Okay, we're gonna go right back to here. Okay, we're gonna show some price now, reset it. Alright, let's see if we can draw some things in and make it make sense to us. This recent price action, what are you doing here? This is, I would say that's a level there. You would expect selling at this level. We broke above it though, pretty convincingly so far. But it could be coming to retest, so we're not going to make it red because it's no longer selling, but it's no longer buying either because it hasn't been retested. Okay, let's try to connect this. So right now it looks like we're in some kind of a wedge. There's no doubt about it that they're buying this, so let's make it green. Okay. And that's about all we have right now. So you're looking at indecision on the top end. You don't know if the sellers are going to reassert themselves. Below this line though, you could be looking for a short. And then you have this level here. Looks like this level right here is a red line for sure because it bounced off of it once and then twice. And it doesn't have to touch completely, guys. It's a zone, okay? There's going to be areas above and below, okay? Think about how you buy stuff in everyday life. You know, if you go to the store and you want milk and you're usually paying $3 for it. If it's $3.20, you know, you're not going to cry about it. You might notice, but you're not going to cry about it. But when it gets to $3.50, $3.60, $3.70, you know, once it starts passing the $half mark, that's when you start to say, oh, okay, milk's getting expensive. It's going up. That's when you make that note in your mind about milk. So this is just a range here, but it's definitely bounced off of this area twice. So yellow line here, don't really know if this is going to act as anything anymore. And then you definitely have a line in the sand here. Okay, let's go down to an hour chart, see if it's giving us anything else. Looks like there was resistance here, turned into support. Or support that turned into resistance, but it's long gone. And then we have this here. So this could be something that is supporting price. It looks like it is. We closed the day here, gapped up, left this big gap right here. Okay, when it came back to it, it supported it again, took off. So we can definitely call that green. So we're going to replay the price. We're going to replay it 5 bars at a time, see if we can get off a trade, a 2-to-1 trade, and go from there, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is kind of acting as support still. It's a green line, so we're definitely expecting there to be buyers at this line. It's below a yellow line, though. I'm not too comfortable with that. I'm not too comfortable not knowing what this line's going to do with this red line above. This is probably a 2-to-1. Let's look at this long position here. Go here. No, it's not even. So if I were to have a thesis that, okay, it's going to stay above this line and bounce, and I'm going to target right here, because even if it's rejected here, I'll get this move before it's rejected. I can't get a 2-to-1 right now. So how can I get a 2-to-1? I'd have to get in somewhere here, right? I have to get in somewhere right here. And put my stop somewhere there. Let's see how much of a stop I could suffer for a 2-to-1. So that's not bad looking there. You would be counting on a rejection of this trend line, though. So let's go ahead and go forward 5 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've now lost this trend line momentarily. Okay, it was green. We don't know if it's going to turn into red. Okay, but it was definitely reacting to it here, 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 and here. Okay, so losing it is kind of a cause for concern right here. But now we come back to this yellow line here that we didn't know if it was going to reverse its roll or not. So this one's now yellow, and now this line's yellow. Okay, I'm interested in this trade actually. I don't know if this is going to come back down here. But let's see if we get a retest of this line and we can turn it green. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm definitely into this trade now. It has supported price from the other side, okay, like we expected it to do. All right, so let's do this. Let's turn it green. And let's anticipate buying from this trend line. We also have another one though on the top of this right now. Okay, and we can anticipate selling from this one. And this one is going to stay neutral. We don't know what it's going to do on the retest. Is it going to support again, or is it not going to matter? So we're going to leave it on here. We're going to shoot for this high here, because this is definitely still red with 2 touches here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nothing really to see here. We kind of have a line developing here a little bit.
It's 9 o'clock p.m.
Kind of got 2 of these right here. This is kind of tricky here. You do have a bounce here. This was 8:30 though. We opened above, came below, but then we shot back up. I think we can call this line green, or at least we can anticipate. We can anticipate buying from this line. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this line is definitely red. See how it rejected price there? Oh shit, it really rejected us there. Okay. Alright. This line is still green though, so we can anticipate buying to come in lower from this line here. Alright, but this line is definitely red, this line's green, and this line is kind of yellow. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've bumped up against it again. Unfortunately, this did not help us. This group here did not help us. So we're actually going to turn this red. You see how it retested here? Came above it, retested, came down. Okay. So we got red, red, red. The only green line we got left is here. Alright, and there's maybe one right here. That's a green line too. Green line there. So let's actually move this a little bit below here. And let's make sure we move this a little bit above there to get our 2 to 1 still. Okay, it's the last adjustment we're going to make though, okay? We're either going to get stopped out or it's going to go our way. So let's see if this green line holds and this green line holds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No real new information there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we're expecting selling to occur at this line, right? Rejected it, supported it, rejected it. Coming back to it here. We're expecting there to be selling. No new information we can get out of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we did get a sell off here. Sold off. Okay. But now it appears to be a supporting price. You guys see that? It looks like it kind of reversed its role here. But at one point, it looked like this was a solid, like it was a wicked candle, and then they came back. At least that's what the replay showed me. I don't know. But now I would say this area is a yellow candle because, or yellow line, because it's indecisive. We don't know which side it's playing for right now. Okay. So right now we have red above, yellow below, green and green below. I'd say this trade is still about 50-50, which is pretty much what the market always is. So no real information here. We do have this level of support here kind of forming. We can turn it green because it definitely supported price twice. 3 times 2, 3-ish. Okay. So let's see what happens here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is interesting here. This line is definitely acting as support now. Okay. So we got support on this trend line here now, so it's green. This one that was red before, reject, 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 reject. It was able to push above this. This is important, guys. Pay attention to this. We talked about this in another video. When you have a line and you have price able to get above it by a certain amount and then it returns to it, you want to see if it can get below it by the same amount. Because if you're using a line as an average price, you should be moving around the average. Okay, because like we just discussed, you're not just going to buy milk at $2. Okay, you'll buy it at 180. You'll buy it at 220, 230, you know what I mean? So you want to see the gyrations around this line. Okay, you want to see those gyrations. You want to see that they're pretty even, or that one side has control. Like this would be pretty even gyrations. Okay, that would be pretty even. Support, support, and then maybe they lost a little bit of conviction here, started to sell, and then this would be definitely a bias to the upside. Okay, higher highs and able to push away from the line more in one direction than the other. Okay, so that's what we're kind of getting here. You're getting this right here. getting this right here able to first it was able to contain price pretty well below the line, okay, pushed it all the way down here, then it spiked above it a little bit, but then pushed it all the way down here, okay. Now it's come back to it and it's able to spike above it again. So this line's not acting as fully support anymore or resistance anymore because buyers have begun to explore prices above it. So I'm not going to turn it yellow yet, but it's definitely not completely red. So we want to see a breakout and maybe a retest. Let's go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm still not comfortable turning this red or turning it green. I am gonna turn it yellow though. We don't know its character right now. We expected to see selling from it in the past, which made it red on the way up, but now we're not so sure because now price is above it. But it's not enough above it to where you can say, okay, the bulls have won this line. Okay, because it could come right here, come right back down, and then go back up. That would be ideal actually, because that would show that this green line is staying green. But let's see what happens. It's definitely yellow now though. It's suspect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have another trend line here that's popping out at us. Okay. Hasn't really been tested a lot, but it is sloping up, and we would expect there to be buying around this area. Okay, but we don't know how serious it's going to be, especially approaching this here. We could do something like this. Then they'll gain control, push it down here, maybe bounce here, and might have enough momentum to fall through and then bounce back up. That would make sense for liquidity too, but we're not getting into that on this video. We're just talking about trend line trading. Alright, so this trend line, we're going to mark it yellow. It's definitely there. We don't know if it's going to be important or if it's going to really do anything. But look at this. We're almost to our profit target. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so here, we're not really getting anything here. We expected to see buying at this level. 1, 2, 3. We didn't get it here. It kind of broke below, but remember, if we're thinking of it as a zone, you're just getting that normal gyration of price. It could still do one of these, right? What's important though is that it's approaching this red line that has been red and remained red from all the way back here because we haven't retested it yet. Okay. Alright, and it's more this area here. So it's actually getting rejected from this area here, it looks like. So let's make this a zone, a proper zone now. And let's see, it's a red zone. Alright, let's see what price can do in this area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No real new information here that we can gather. This is acting more of support than resistance, but it's so steep, it was very easy that it was going to break. So let's try to adjust it here. Let's try to make it one of these. Let's make it one of these and tentatively keep it yellow but more bullish than bearish. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I definitely think it's bullish, but it's not really strongly bullish because now it's up into this level, and this level is bearish. As you can see, this level is continuing to remain bearish. Okay, our area up here that we want to take profits at is right here. Okay, we wanted to poke above this and get us out of here. So let's just extend this and let's see if we can get a poke above and out of this trade. But we can definitely, yeah, I'm comfortable with all the colors right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No new information here. It's just kind of consolidating. You do have a little bit of something going on here. We're going to make this a green line. So we again expect buying to occur somewhere in this area. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, we're almost out. I think we might be out of the trade. I think we might have won it. No, not yet. Almost. Almost. Okay, but now we're getting offshoots of this line. I haven't talked about offshoots yet, but they're basically when, that's how I think of them, when trend lines expand. So you have a trend going, you have a trend line going, and then the trend accelerates a little bit. It gets a little steeper. And then it gets a little bit steeper. And then it gets way too steep. Okay. What you're looking for when you see a situation like this, okay, you're looking to isolate where it all came from. You're looking to isolate the root here. Okay. That's the trend line you're trading. You're eventually expecting it to come back to this main trend line. So even if it comes up, okay, when it starts to break down, well, you should be selling, you should be taking profits, but also when it starts to break down, you're not really concerned about that you're in a downtrend until you get back to this line. Why is that? Because all of these came from this line. They all got the idea to buy because they had bought first. Okay, that makes sense? Everyone on this line bought first. They initiated the move. They supported price once, twice, 3 times, and this made this group say, okay, we're moving up, I'll buy. And then that made this group say, okay, I'll buy. And then that made this group go crazy and say, yes, I'll take it at any price, give it to me. Okay, so as you're breaking back through these levels, while it's nice to take profits at these levels, you really want to be concerned with this level if you're trying to get back in, because it started it all. Okay. All right. So I say that to say we have an offshoot here now from this line to this line, and I'm going to definitely say that it's green. We have broken above the red zone here. We're going to mark it yellow though. Let's mark the first one yellow. And let's mark this second one red here. Let's leave it red. Because it can get a little bit above this and not do anything. 1. Okay. So we're out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we're out of that trade. That's another profitable trade. Now, you guys might look at this. You might look at this cacophony here and say, this is a mess. No one trades like this. When I tell you I had the most profitable trading era in my career so far, trading like this, I'm not lying to you. And it was simply looking at trend lines and seeing what they're trying to do. Are they green? Do I expect buying at trend lines? Or are they red? Do I expect there to be sellers at trend lines? And based on how it reacts to the trend line, okay, I place my bets. But I always start with the higher time frame because I want to know what is the higher time frame doing. And as you can see, we started this video out right here after we had broke this wedge. So the higher time frame was bullish because while this had held price down 1, 2 times, the third time it came, it broke through. So I'm bullish here. So I'm looking for this to be bullish. I'm looking for it to remain bullish, and it did, and that's why I was bullish for this move up. All right. So if you guys like that, let me know. I'll do some more of it, some more videos, and more examples if you're into it. But you gotta like and let me know you liked it. So, all right, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.